Hey everybody, we are talking about overcoming fear, and we're on part 3 of 5 this week. We're going to go into the book of Joshua as we talk about Joshua, and we're in Joshua chapter 1. And our key verse today is verse 2. Now Moses has died, and God is talking to Joshua, which that's a big deal, by the way. You can just pause right there. But anyway, he's talking to Joshua, and he says, "Moses, my servant, is dead. Therefore, the time has come for you to lead these people." The time has come. And so many times we are afraid of something that, when we're afraid of something that hasn't happened, right? I mean, 9 times out of 10, we're afraid of something that hasn't happened. Now, I guess if you met a bear in the woods, you'd be afraid of something that is happening. Most of the time, we're scared of something that has not yet happened. Now, God is saying to Joshua, the time has come. Now it's happening. What Joshua knew was going to happen eventually, that he'd have to lead everybody, that the buck would stop with him, right? That's it. He's the leader. It has now arrived. Quick story. When I was in Argentina and Brazil, I went there for 2 months after my junior year in college. And I was 19 years old. I was one of the youngest people as a part of this missionary ship. There's 200 plus people living on this ship. We went from port to port. I think at this point we were in Buenos Aires. And we went out into the much poorer part of the city. We were in a van, probably about 12 people in a van, and we were going to show a film, but we got lost. And there were 4 guys just standing outside talking, but it was late at night. We pulled up near them, called them over. The guy in the passenger seat that was with us asked for directions, but he had a camcorder in his lap. Suddenly, before we knew what was going on, one of the men, those 4 men, had reached in, grabbed the camcorder, and was tugging on it, but the guy in the passenger seat that was with us wouldn't let it go. So his body was halfway through the window. The 4 guys out there were pulling on him. We had guys holding his legs so he wouldn't go out. And everybody was panicking. And it suddenly came to me, and I was sitting in the very back, to yell out, and I don't think they heard me because there's too much going on, but to yell out, "In the name of Jesus and by his shed blood, let him go." And as soon as I yelled that, those 4 guys just kind of like fell back on the ground. And, the reason I tell that story is because growing up, I was 19 at that time, growing up, my mom had always instilled in me over and over and over again, if you ever get scared, if anything ever happens, you just say, "In the name of Jesus and by his shed blood," and get away or whatever it is. And I'd never really had a chance to use it, especially not in like a life-threatening situation before. But the point is, when the time came, I was ready. I didn't know what was going to happen, right? I didn't even know what to be afraid of. I didn't know that was ever going to happen in my life. But the point was, my mom and God had prepared me for that moment. So here's what I want to say. God had prepared Joshua. We can go back through it. That would be a longer talk than is the point of this video. But we can go back through his life and we can see where he fought the Amalekites and when he went into the promised land and spied it out. And when he did other things that he was a part of with Moses and leading the people through the wilderness. God had prepared him and the time had come. And now that the time had come, God had made him ready to face what he was calling him to do. So here's what I want to say to you. As you're going after your dreams, you're pursuing your dreams, and on the flip side, as you're facing challenges or you're worried about challenges that are coming up, right? Or you're pursuing your dreams and wondering if you're going to be up to the task, right? If you're going to fit the bill, if you're going to be good enough. Here's what I want you to know. If God has called you to it, or if God is allowing the challenge to come in, or if God has called you to the dream, okay? If God is allowing the challenge to come in, or God has called you to the dream, when the time is ready, you're going to be enough. He's going to be enough in and through you, right? There's going to be enough there. The ability is going to be there. The skills are going to be there. The connections and the relationships are going to be there. The resources are going to be there. The wisdom is going to be there. The words are going to be there. All the things you need are going to be there when the time comes because he's with you, because he's called you to it or he's allowed it to come. And he's going to provide in that moment. So we don't need to live life afraid of the challenge that we think might be coming, or live life overwhelmed and in fear of our ability to handle, achieving some dream. Instead, we need to know when those things happen, as long as we're walking right with God, he is going to equip us at the moment when the time comes to handle it well. And that's just another tip of overcoming fear. I hope that's helpful. Thank you guys, and we'll go on to part 4 tomorrow.